self-identification with your name, your race, your color, your religion, your income bracket, your politics, size of your house, etc. And self-identifying that with being you, when it is what you are experiencing. And basically, phantom self perceives the world almost entirely through the five senses. And the idea of the conspiracy, and without which it couldn't happen, is to disconnect phantom self from infinite self. Because the real self is not the body, it's not any form whatsoever. It is awareness, it is simply the state of being aware. And our point of awareness is one point of perception within infinite awareness to which we are all a part. And you can have pea-sized awareness, which is what the system wants humanity to have, or you can open your mind and open your consciousness to access greater swathes of infinite awareness. In other words, your point of attention expands, and suddenly it's encompassing information, insight, knowledge, intuitive knowing that five sense attention does not access. And the whole foundation, and you can go back through what we call time, centuries, thousands of years, and the same thing is there when it comes to human control. Disconnect five sense self or sense of self from infinite self. And when you analyze what I call the program that people go through from cradle to grave, whether it's education, whether it's parents who have downloaded the program and thus become agents of the program unknowingly, whether it's peer pressure, people around you who've downloaded the program and become agents of the program without realizing, and whatever the source of information is, it's telling you to perceive a certain minute range of possible reality and think that's all there is to know, that's all there is to think. And also what happens is that once you've downloaded, I'm talking generally here, of course there are major exceptions and getting larger all the time, but once the download has happened, the downloader becomes the, if you like, mixing my metaphors, the prison warder for everybody else. So you take the download and you take the download to be your sense of reality, the sense of you. But then if anyone else comes along and starts challenging your download and saying, actually, that doesn't make sense, and actually here's another fix on reality, here's another fix on the world, well, those people are mad, crazy, and to be dismissed by reflex action. This is how the program works. And this is why the vast majority still, though it's changing, have a perception of a reality which is not the way the world is, it's simply the way the world is according to the download. And it's very powerful, and it's very detailed, and it's very systematic, and it's been going on a long time. Once you disconnect that focus of attention that directly operates through what I call the biological computer, the body. I heard a scientist call it a biological computer a few weeks ago. Crikey, it fell off my chair. When you disconnect and focus that only in the five senses, then that now has to get an understanding of what it's experiencing, where it is, what's going on from within the tiny realm that it's experiencing.
The wider awareness that we have, which has a much more expanded perception of everything. And so slowly but surely, the download, the program, starts to get challenged. And it's like, and the challenge is, well, you know, this doesn't make sense to me anymore like it did before. And when you said that, people know, that's because when you access expanded awareness beyond the program, you're entering a level that does know. I mean, when we have intuition, what do we call it? We call it an intuitive knowing. The reason we know when we have intuition, rather than my intuition's just working it out, it don't work like that. Your intuition I just know. It's because your intuition is connecting with levels of awareness beyond the program. The program, because it's in the madhouse land of bewilderment, is always trying to work it out, trying to get facts and make sense of facts, and the facts don't make any sense, so you're bewildered and you can't understand what's going on. You get to that level of intuitive knowing, which is just expanded awareness, which anyone can do, and suddenly the clarity's there. You can see it. It's obvious. You just know. And that's the difference. But of course, when you access a level of knowing in a madhouse, bewildered realm of thinking, of course, the bewildered realm thinks you're crazy, because people perceive credibility on the basis largely of what they perceive to be normal. Mm-hmm. And of course, although the perception download is insanity on a stick, it's all pervading and thus becomes normal. So madness becomes normal, thus madness becomes credible, and challenging the madness becomes not normal, thus not credible. And so you've got this process going on all the time. And in that, those few lines of description, you have the reason why people suddenly start to see the world differently and kind of know things they didn't know before, and why they get the reaction they do when they start to awaken and express their new perceptions of life. It has a sense of being unconnected, although it's not conscious to most people. That there is a sense of disconnection, a sense of loss, a sense of abandonment almost. From the time I was a little child, from the earliest time I can remember, I had a background noise of sadness. You'd do things and you'd laugh, but when you were alone, when you had pondering time, there was this sadness. And the more that I've kind of opened my own awareness and started to understand things more, the more I can relate that sadness to two things. One, subconsciously knowing that there's a disconnection here, and it's not anything like the full magnitude of who we are.